Hi, everyone. Unfortunately, because of all of the closures and the restrictions, this is how we are going to have to complete our 2019-2020 Hughesville Spartans Senior High Wrestling Banquet. So I'd like to welcome you to the banquet. I have some stuff to go over, some awards to give out, um, and then hopefully at some point we can meet in person and have something together at some point this summer. But we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for updates on the government level. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Talk a little bit about our season. We had kind of an up and down season. We had a great start. We were in a good spot. January was a little bit rough. We had a young team and figuring out how to get through a month like that was a tough thing. But our kids came out stronger on the other side of it. We ended up 10-13 for the second year in a row. We just missed district duels. We went into that last day of the season at our quad meet, with a chance to make district duels, and we came up just short that day. But all in all, a successful season in a growth aspect. We got better at every weight, and we improved. A couple of the highlights of the season was an early season win over South Williamsport at home. That was a great match. Top to bottom, we just wrestled lights out, I thought. And then we had a home match against Jersey Shore, where that it was kind of the type of a high school wrestling match that defines high school wrestling. We had Chase Snyder on the mat to close out the match. The place was so loud that he couldn't hear us, and it was just a lot of fun. And we ended up getting the win, which is even more fun. I have a lot of people to thank. First and foremost, the wrestlers. They come in and they do something that is special. It's really hard. Not everyone can be a wrestler. There's nowhere to hide. I tell the kids all the time. You can't hide in the corner of the wrestling room. You're coming in. You're doing battle every day. You're doing hand-to-hand combat. You're maintaining your weight. You're doing extra workouts. It takes a special person to be a wrestler, and so every kid, on the team, is special. And I just wanted to thank them for everything that they do all season for us and for our program. Parents, obviously, our wrestlers, aren't where they are without parental support. Whether that's picking them up from practice late, bringing them in on Saturdays. Some of you, for the last 10 years, have been taking your kids to tournaments, to clubs, to all this other extra stuff, and that does not go unnoticed, right? Parental involvement is instrumental in the development of wrestlers. Our boosters, can't say enough about them. Our booster club is incredible. They support our wrestlers 1st to 12th grade in any way they can. And I strongly believe we have the best booster club of any school, of any sport, anywhere, period. Our coaches, it's a huge time commitment. And, coaches are sacrificing time away from their spouses, their kids. Some of them are changing work schedules. It takes a big commitment to come in and coach every day. Also, spouses, girlfriends, wives, fiancés, we're gone a lot, and it takes a certain type of spouse or significant other to kind of put up with that. Right? And we are very grateful for that as coaches. I'm going to go over the roster by grade. I'll call out all of our wrestlers. Our freshmen this year were Eli Olszewski, Caden Pewterball, Caden Fetterman, and we had Cole Fortin. Sophomores, this was the bulk of our team this year was sophomores. We had Hunter Faust, Morgan Gavitt, Jacob Whitmoyer, Brendan Knight, Simon Benage, Dylan Farnsworth, Chase Snyder, Kenny Draper. Juniors, we had Cole Dyer, Hayden Robbins, Caleb Burkhart. And seniors, we had Bo Draper, Brock Stroop, and Luke Yerg. All right, I'm going to take just a second and talk about the seniors briefly. Bo was my first ever tournament as a head coach. We went to Top Hat, and I'm, nervous, very nervous. First time, ever being a senior high head coach. And, I see our coach Lucas Trick waving me over to the mat from the far side, and I go over, and I get, 20 feet away, and Lucas goes, "It's bad. His elbow is bad." And I don't deal with that stuff very well. And so I looked the other direction, and I supported Bo as best I could without looking at his elbow. And unfortunately, that was the end of his season. He had an elbow dislocation. And he spent the entire season, rehabbing his elbow and getting back healthy. But he never left, right? So he couldn't wrestle, obviously. But he was there every day. He was helping out. He was giving advice. And he was providing leadership that the seniors provide, even though he wasn't able to wrestle and he was injured. Super smart kid, great kid, from a great family, and I'm really going to miss him. Brock Stroop, here's another one where the injury bug hit. It hit early in the season, and Brock, he's been battling injuries for years now, and he came back as a senior. He told us, last year he was going to take the year off and get healthy, and he was going to come back. And anytime you hear that as a coach, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. But he came back. To his credit, he kept his word. He came back and he was working hard, and the shoulders just didn't hold up. But what a great kid! Always has a smile on his face. Always positive. Always enthusiastic. And man, what an athlete he is! Just pure athleticism and fun to watch. Just fly around. Fun to watch. And our last senior, Luke Yerg. Lots to say about Luke, and I'll get back to Luke in a little bit. But finished his career as a 4-time state qualifier, as our all-time wins leader at Hughesville High School, and just displayed leadership on a daily basis in a way that was really important to our team. And I have some awards to give out now. The first one is the Max Schneider Scholarship Award. This is a scholarship that's awarded to a senior wrestler in District 4. So we have, I think, 34 teams in District 4. So this is a scholarship that goes to one senior out of those 34 teams, and that was Luke Yerg this year, won that scholarship. That's a pretty big deal. And Luke is going to use that scholarship partly to go to Cornell next year. He's going to go get his education at Cornell, and he's going to wrestle for them. And again, I'll come back to Luke here in a little bit. We had 2 wrestlers make the District 4 All-Academic team. They were Caden Pewterball and Luke Yerg. And we talk all the time about the importance of going to class, doing your homework, doing your work, doing your best. And these 2 guys obviously were doing that, in the classroom and on the mat, coming and working hard and doing everything that they need to be doing. All right, now we have some team awards to give out. And I'll start with Coach's Award. And this is a guy he's a junior this year. It's his first year wrestling. He came out, and you don't see that happen all that often. Guys later in high school coming out for wrestling, but his attitude toward wrestling was very unique to me. In that we somewhere in the middle of the season we came up against a team who had a guy at his weight who was ranked, I don't know, in the top 10 in the country. And he was so excited to wrestle this guy. He couldn't wait to get on the mat with a guy who was top 10 in the country. When a lot of other athletes would be nervous or maybe scared or timid in that situation, he was ready to go. And he could not wait to wrestle this guy. Unfortunately, because of the team score, that guy ended up bumping up and wrestling a different weight, and so he didn't get to wrestle him. But 2 days later, we wrestled a team where the wrestler under our guy's weight was ranked, I think, 1st or 2nd in the country at the time. And Cole made me go over to the opposing coach and ask him to bump this guy up so Cole could wrestle him, because he badly wanted to wrestle someone of that caliber. And that says a lot for a first-year wrestler, or any wrestler really for that matter, who so badly wants to challenge themselves against the best of the best. And so our Coaches Award this year goes to Cole Dyer. All right, he has, he really made the room a lot of fun. He, he came in. I don't know if he knew what really to expect, but he started out as a 195 pounder. He apparently watched a cops marathon, got a good sweat going, got his weight all the way down to 182, and he really helped out the team a lot this year. So thank you, Cole. Our next award is the Commitment Award. And this is a guy who, it seems like, knows every single wrestler in the entire District 4. He's apparently been to just about every club known to man. He's wrestled, some of the best kids in the area. He puts in a lot of time outside of our season and outside of our practices. He goes to tournaments in the off season. He just does a lot of work to try to get better at the sport of wrestling. And if you go anywhere, it seems like every single person knows who he is. So our Commitment Award goes to Caleb Burkhart. Our next award is our Most Improved Award. I talked briefly about Chase Snyder earlier in the Jersey Shore match. That was a match where two even wrestlers battling it out, and one guy just wanted a little bit more, fought a little bit harder, and that was Chase. That was Chase's whole season. He battled and he battled. He never gave an inch. He was always taking ground. I think he won 16 matches this year, which was quite an improvement over his freshman year when he came up and had some struggles as a freshman. Obviously, at an upper weight, but he's a coachable kid, asking questions all the time. He's creative in wrestling. He's always thinking about putting things together in a way that makes sense for him that maybe we didn't think about, and that's a really cool thing to see from a sophomore in high school. So this year's Most Improved Wrestler, Chase Snyder. All right, now we get to the Spartan Award. Let's put that over there. All right, the Spartan Award is, for someone who just does all the right things. And this year we had a guy come in. He's a freshman, and I had him in junior high, obviously. And he's a low maintenance wrestler, meaning I know he's going to be doing the right thing. I know he's going to be getting his workouts in. He's going to be working hard, and he's trying to maximize his talent. When we go to the weight room, he's moving maybe a little bit faster. When we go on a run, he's pushing himself hard. And my favorite story about Caden Peterball is, it's the middle of January. We're in a rough stretch. We're wrestling 3 days a week. He's making weight. He's, probably maintaining his weight, which is tough. It takes discipline. And I get a text on a Sunday. I think we had wrestled Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And I get a text on a Sunday that, there's a kid out running, and he's wearing like a Hannibal Lecter mask, and it has to be a wrestler. And so I said, I don't know who it would have been, So I go to practice on Monday, and I asked the team about it, and here it was Caden Peterball. And not only was he out running and doing extra work when he could have been, hanging out and watching TV, right? He was out for a run doing work, maintaining, his cardio and all that. But he was wearing a high altitude mask to reduce the amount of oxygen that his body could get. So he's just pushing himself above and beyond, what most kids are doing, and especially as a freshman, that's a rare thing to see. And so this year's Spartan Award winner is Caden Peterball. All right. Now to our most outstanding wrestler. I talked about Luke a little bit before. But what he has, meant to the program for the last 4 years can't be understated. 4-time state qualifier, 135 career victories. He's really kept Hughesville wrestling on the map statewide, where people are going to states and they're still seeing that Hughesville name, and they're associating that with wrestling and being a wrestling powerhouse. That we've been since the 40s or the 50s. And so, Luke has just been a dream to coach. Like I said before, he is a no maintenance wrestler, meaning I know he's doing his work. I know he's doing, his class work. I know he is maintaining his weight. I don't have to worry about his weight. He's just been a dream to coach from start to finish, and I'm so happy to see him go to Cornell and get an Ivy League education and continue wrestling and roll around with Yanni and Josh Saunders and all those guys up there. It's going to be really interesting to watch, and a lot of fun to see, what happens with him over the next few years. I'm really excited about that. So this year's most outstanding wrestler is Luke Yerg. We have one more award that I don't actually have with me. It's the Wingfield Memorial Trophy, and this goes to the wrestler who scores the most team points for the season. It's engraved with this wrestler's name, and it will be in the school trophy case at the entrance. So each year someone new gets added, and it gets put back in the trophy case. This year, the winner is Luke Yerg, is the Wingfield Memorial winner. A couple of stats for his season. He won 35 matches, I believe. He had 17 pins, and if you take his dual meet schedule, he scored just over 5 points per dual meet for our team. And so that was really nice to have that anchor in the middle of our lineup to know that, when he went on the mat, we were probably getting 5 points or 6 points. And that allowed us some flexibility around him to try to get matchups and get him matchups. And so I was really proud of what Luke did this season and how he conducted himself and how he did a lot to help our team, and he still ended up scoring over 5 points for the team per dual meet, which is pretty special. Normally at this time we would be handing out the wrestlers' swag or their goodies. This year every wrestler is going to get a custom gear bag. It has their name on it, Hughesville Wrestling, and it has their last name on it. That's every wrestler from 7th to 12th grade. We have those in. We'll have to figure out a way to get those out to you here at some point. And our seniors, we got kind of an extra parting gift for you. It happens to be the same sweatshirt I'm wearing. Right, so it's a hoodie, and then on the back there we have your name, so it's customized for you. There's Bo, there's Luke, and Brock. So I'll get a hold of those guys and get them their hoodies. I just wanted to express my appreciation for what they've done for the program and how they have helped us. That is it for this year's banquet. I know these are weird circumstances, and this is not the ideal way for a banquet to happen, as you get on YouTube and watch me ramble on for 20 minutes, but it's what we have to do, I guess, at the moment. I had a great season. It's my first season, obviously, and I can't wait for next season, and I hope that we're all doing what we can to prepare for next season so that next season can be even better than this year. All right? Take care, everyone. Thanks.